I didn't plan on rescuing any plants that day, but then I saw these two sitting on my sister's windowsill. One was stretched, the other looking tired, and I thought, okay, maybe I can help. In this video I'll show you the full process, from first look to pruning and prep for rooting. Have you ever seen a succulent like this? I definitely hadn't. I'd walked past it before, but back then I wasn't into succulents yet. This time I couldn't unsee it. And then I noticed it wasn't alone. The second one wasn't stretched like this, but let's just say it wasn't thriving either. So I brought them home. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with. The stem is easily 70 centimeters long, maybe even more. Only the top third has any leaves left, and the gaps between nodes are huge. But there is something good too. Look here, the little pups already growing near the base, tiny, compact, and full of potential. Alright, it's not easy emotionally, but time to cut. I'm removing the main stem and leaving the base with those new rosettes. Here's what's left, a stump with several healthy looking pups. I'll trim a bit more just to clean up the shape. I decided to cut the remaining stem into several sections. Three of them have no leaves at all, just bare internodes, and the last piece is the top with a rosette. I'm not sure if any of them will root, but I figured it's worth a try. Next, I started removing the lower leaves. I accidentally snapped one off. It happens. I try to be as careful as I can, but sometimes things just pop up anyway. I'll be saving these leaves for propagation too. Not that I know what I'll do with so many plants if they all take, but I didn't bring them home just to throw them out. And now it's time to cut the very top. I'll try to root this part as well. First, I'm removing a few more bottom leaves to make space for planting. I want a clean stem. That looks about right. Back to the bottom part now. Still way too many leaves, and most of them don't look great. I'll keep removing the ones that feel soft or wrinkled, but not only them. The others go to my propagation tray. Some of them are breaking apart as they go, and if the base is split, there is no chance they will root. I'll show you later what I mean and what damaged leaves look like. Alright, here's the final lineup. The base with the pups, 2 leafy cuttings, the top and the middle section, 4 bare stems, and 17 leaves. Will all they root? I have no idea, but I'll give them the best chance I can. This is what I meant by damage. If the spot where roots are supposed to grow is torn or missing, nothing is gonna happen. The leaf will just dry up. I've seen it enough times now to know, and this one, clearly broken in half, it's a lost cause. One last look at everything before we move on to the next plant. Now let's talk about the second one. At first glance it doesn't look too bad, but still something fell off. I took it out of the decorative pot and yeah, it's probably still in the nursery container, which would be fine if the soil wasn't so questionable. At first I tried removing the dry leaves at the bottom with tweezers. It didn't really work, so I ended up just using my hands instead. Bit by bit I started removing the old leaves. As the plant grows, it puts all its energy into the top, and the lower leaves slowly dry out. That's totally normal, but it does make the plant look a little rough over time. And here, as I clean things up, the stem slowly starts to show. I noticed quite a few aerial roots along the way. That usually means the plant has been under some stress, either from underwatering or long dry spells. Still, despite it all, it managed to grow some fresh leaves. There were actually 2 rosettes in the same pot, so I cleaned up the second one too. At some point I found a dry old leaf that had trapped some air inside, kind of like a mini air bubble. Then I got a better look at the substrate. It was mostly a large chunk of gravel. I'm not sure that's the best choice for a plant this size. It holds almost no moisture and doesn't give the roots much to grip. Now time to cut. I started with the first rosette, then the second. But I'll admit, I felt a little more confident this time. Still nervous though. Look at these lower leaves. I'm pretty sure in a couple of months they would end up just like the ones I already removed, shriveled and gone. They are soft, wrinkled, and just unhealthy. Either way, I need a clean stem for propagation, so they have to go. First cutting goes into an empty pot, just to dry out for a couple of days. It's important to let the wounds collapse before planting. Could have just laid it on the table, but the leaves are already tired. No need to stress them more. The second one looked even more dehydrated. Succulents can survive a lot, but there is a fine line between surviving and actually thriving. This one was barely holding on. So I placed it in another pot. Same deal. Dry, shady spot for a few days, let it heal. I didn't mention it earlier, but there was also a third plant in the same pot, a big pop hiding between the two rosettes. It's pretty weak, but definitely trying to grow. I'm placing it in a small pot too, just to let it dry out like the others. And now I'm collecting the healthy leaves to let them root later. I'm not sure if you can propagate this kind of succulent with leaf cuttings, but I'm gonna try. Next, time to clean up. As usual, there are leaves everywhere. And yeah, maybe it's not the most exciting part of the plant care, but you always gotta do it. And here what I ended up with. A pile of leaves, I'm not sure how many of them will root, two main cuttings, and one smaller one, and a couple of leafless stems with some hope left in them. That's it for today. In the next video I'll show how I prepare everything for rooting and we'll see if any of this actually grows.